And the Lord started showing us more about XRP and more about crypto. And he was telling me that right now Trump and Elon Musk and them are divided. There's a plan. There's a plan in motion that is being laid for the digital platform that will usher in the mark of the beast in the future.
Something happens in the world, it's a crisis, it's a war, and that catalyzes a major change. So these processes, I think, are probably going to be very non-linear.
To take 1 million Bitcoin and reduce the debt by half. And if you went with something more aggressive,
apps, but there's probably a bigger pipeline of institutional or more regulatory use cases in the works. We've done some work with JP Morgan, Apollo, Citi, MasterCard.
And we're seeing cryptocurrencies like XRP, Stellar Lumens, and stablecoins like USDC playing an important role in getting that wheel to turn and deliver the internet of value.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? If you got a baggie, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. XRP isn't just winning, it's dominating. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We got XRP currently right around $2.13. We got one from Uphold to pop things off with the first US blockchain issued stablecoin now live on permissionless blockchain. Trust and transparency are finally catching up to innovation. This could mark the moment of stablecoin transition from crypto native tools to the mainstream. We got Anders X. Nothing happens until a global crisis arrives.
I would say if you look back in history, the times at which a dominant currency was displaced, it was always a bit of an accident that brought it. It's not like a smooth trend that like eventually brings it to parity. Something happens in the world, it's a crisis, it's a war, and that catalyzes a major change. So these processes, I think, are probably going to be very non-linear. At the same time, I think it's hard to imagine that it would happen in the next couple of years. It's clearly something that's a bit in the future.
Well, let's hope we can reach to that state without a war. That would be really hope.
Undo finance. Every stock, every bond, every fund, every asset can be tokenized, and if they are, it'll revolutionize investing. BlackRock's the world's largest asset manager is placing a bold bet on the future of finance. In the latest chairman letter, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink explains how tokenization is democratization. Tokenization can democratize access, democratize shareholder voting, democratize yield, democratize access to investments, shareholding voting, yield. Cointelegraph News Senator Lummis on Natalie Brunell's podcast claims that the U.S. can literally eliminate the debt if it adopts RFK Jr.'s Bitcoin reserve proposal. What happens when they adopt a utility coin like XRP?
since inception, Bitcoin has grown somewhere between 55 and 60% per year. Even if the models that people like Michael Saylor have put together are accurate, where over time that percentage of growth annually is diminished to 45, 35, 25% over the life of Bitcoin, it still allows us at the end of 20 years to take 1 million Bitcoin and reduce the debt by half. And if you went with something more aggressive, like RFK Jr. Presented at Bitcoin in Nashville, Bitcoin 2024, you could literally eliminate the debt. So these are, and the modeling for Bitcoin has proven to be very correct. And so I have great confidence that this is doable. And I'm delighted that the president sees it that way as well. Look forward to working with them, whatever approach they choose to take. The other thing that the Bitcoin Act does is protect individuals' ability to have an individual wallet, their own private Bitcoin wallet that the government can't get their mitts on. And that's really important to me, because this is freedom money.
We got one from Ripple. What if aid could be faster, smarter, and more transparent? Ripple, social venture, DIVA, donate XYZ are piloting blockchain-powered aid using RLUSD for drought insurance in Kenya. Satellite data detects drought and risk. Smart contracts automate RLUSD payouts. 500 plus farmers receive timely support. XRP. Crypto mentality. BlackRock just confirmed crypto's role in the future. XRP, XLM were mentioned. In this interview, Alinka, senior analyst at Salent, highlights what Larry Fink discusses at SIBO, Swift International Banking Operations Seminar.
Takeaway is that increasingly FIs recognize that banking and payment systems have not kept up with the pace of advancements in the digital economy and in trading. E-com operates 24/7 cross-border relatively inexpensively. Trading, the front office is automated, there's low latency. Then you switch gears, banks operate still typically in terms of batch processing, store and forward, and payments, messaging, clearing, and settlement are often decoupled and can take days. This dichotomy is just unsustainable. And in response, we're seeing and hearing at Sibos how a number of FIs and FI-backed consortiums are harnessing blockchain, smart contracts, digital assets to align the performance of banking and payment systems with those of the digital economy. The second takeaway, I'd say, is that the Internet of Value is beginning to crystallize. And let me start with a framework. Let's think of the old industrial flywheels that take a lot of energy to make a half turn and a full turn. But once they start turning, there's momentum and it's hard to stop them. So let's overlay adoption of blockchain and digital assets. They've proven value. So part of the first turn, feasibility, certainly. And now we're seeing these use cases get into the bottom of that first turn, economic viability. And there's some exciting initiatives we heard about at Sibos around interbank payments, delivery versus payments, for example, correspondent banking, messaging, cross-border, interbank, intrabank, intra-company, and importantly, when we get to the ESG, the S part, remittances. So lots of interesting energy there. And we're seeing cryptocurrencies like XRP, Stellar Lumens, and stablecoins like USDC playing an important role in getting that wheel to turn and deliver the internet of value. Also, the introduction of central bank digital currencies will accelerate the mainstreaming of digital assets. I'd say my third, coming to the crown jewel here, cryptocurrencies are gaining legitimacy as a new asset class. When the Bitcoin paper first came out, it was going to be the missing link, the internet of value, a medium of exchange. But as we know, Bitcoin failed as a medium of exchange for legal activities. Then the pivot was to blockchain, distributed ledger technology as the new disruptor. Now we're seeing Bitcoin as in the lead as a new digital asset class, which has profound implications. It's been initially driven by retail investors. Now we're seeing institutional investors enter the game. And with institutional investors, you get more sophisticated demand. And that certainly is going to accelerate developments in decentralized finance. And we're seeing cryptocurrencies like XRP, Stellar Lumens, and stablecoins like USDC playing an important role in getting that wheel to turn and deliver the internet of value.
Institutions, banks, enterprises on their way to pump our bags up. Pump our bags up. XRP, built for the internet of value, built for utility, built for all the money, all the value. Cointelegraph just in. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says gold is likely exempt from tariffs and compares Bitcoin to gold as a store of value.
So it was unclear whether we were going to exempt gold from tariffs, which I believe we have. So there was a big move out of vaults in Switzerland, out of vaults in London to get it into New York. And look, that there are a lot of different stores of value over time. Bitcoin's becoming a store of value. Gold has historically been a store of value. I think what's interesting is, where do we see the gold demand coming from? A huge amount is from China.
Yes.
Where they, as I said, they're in the middle of an economic recession/depression. People don't trust the Chinese currency because they have capital controls. There are 1.4 billion Chinese who all want to get their money out, and they won't let them. They will let them buy gold.
Axelar Network, regulatory clarity is the only missing piece for institutional adoption. The tech is ready. The the dominoes are falling into place?
I mean, as of today, it's live usage is more retail-focused apps, but there's probably a bigger pipeline of institutional or more regulatory use cases in the works. We've done some work with JP Morgan, Apollo, Citi, MasterCard, a lot of those projects, a lot of the tokenization platforms as well. With regulatory clarity coming in the US, it really opens up the door for these institutions to start leveraging the stack. That's what we're seeing being built on the back end right now.
Robert Kiyosaki, I should not say this because it's not cool to say I told you so yet. I did tell you so. In my book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad Prophecy, I warned the biggest stock market crash in history was going to wipe out the financial security of millions of investors, especially my generation, the baby boomers. The stock market crash arrived today. We are definitely in a recession and more likely a depression. As I have been suggesting for years, I suggest looking at non-Wall Street assets. For many years, I have suggested saving real gold, real silver, and today, Bitcoin. Utility assets like XRP, XLM. Take care, there are going to be rough storms ahead. In other news, if you haven't seen it yet, the 4-leg robot that humans can ride. We got one from Mustache. All right, I think this is huge. Altcoins in the past, the weekly EMA 50 has decided the bull or bear market for altcoins. What do we have now? The weekly EMA 50 plus trend line was touched. Both have acted as very strong support over the past 15 years. The next leg up, so it begins. John Squire, the biggest US-based crypto coins by market cap, XRP, taking the throne. XRP isn't just winning, it's dominating. The only digital asset with utility with legal clarity in the United States. XAF Crypto, Ripple CTO David Schwartz suggested the $1 million price of XRP is more practical than $1. Know what you hold. The banks were to adopt Ripple, which means they have to purchase XRP. Would they not want to keep the market price of XRP low? If XRP is finite, cannot be mined, then that would hinder the mainstream adoption. Schwartz says no, the price of XRP you need to make $1 million payment will be at least $1 million. The truth is precisely the opposite. Higher prices tend to correlate with higher liquidity, which means cheaper and more liquid payments. Imagine if you wanted to use Bitcoin as an intermediary currency to buy a house worth $1 million back when Bitcoin was priced at 100. And the prices of trying to buy enough Bitcoin to buy the house, you'd push the price up significantly, and then when the recipient tried to convert those Bitcoins into their local currency, they'd push the price down significantly. The effect would be so bad back then, it would not have been practical to use Bitcoin to buy a house. Now with Bitcoin over 10K and reaching 100K recently, that's a cinch. You can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market significantly because the price is higher and you need a smaller fraction of the available Bitcoin to do so. So higher price assets is a better vehicle for payments, at least if you're targeting high value payments. XRP can be dirt cheap. Higher prices means higher liquidity, which means cheaper payments. With that being said, Batman Bag ladies, the key is how long can you hold it, become a diamond hand, and lock in? Will they use blockchain to usher in the B system?
And Diana and I just started interceding and praying, and the Lord started showing us more about XRP and more about crypto. And he was telling me that right now Trump and Elon Musk and them are divided. There's a plan in motion that is being laid for the digital platform that will usher in the mark of the beast in the future. I saw a line, and the Lord said, great foundation is being laid for the cryptocurrency as we speak right now. And you are about to see something that we've never seen before. A new digital age. I saw in the spirit phones trying to get people desensitized for the mark of the beast that's coming. I saw like a braid, and it was all being braided all together with XRPs and XLM, all these other cryptocurrencies. I saw a plan being made for bank loans on housing. A certain cryptocurrency will be a lending platform for banknotes for housing. They will be lined up with the dollar. Car markets will have a certain cryptocurrency that will be lined up with the dollar. All of it kind of being pegged with that dollar platform.
With that being said, Batman Bag ladies, Moon Party, 4th edition, 3 weeks away, 4/26, 2025, we'll see you down in Austin, Texas for a proper 4th edition moon party. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Catch you up here on the mothership. BYOB. Bring your own bags. Be your own bank. Be your own boss. And don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. I'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Welcome to the party. This a moon party. Hey, this a moon party. Hey, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. This a moon party. This a moon party. Welcome to the party, we don't play round here. Moon suit on or you get sprayed round.